Hello guys, my name is Sid Morris and welcome to another tutorial on QuickBooks. So in this one we're going to look at a number of concepts as well, so stick around. Let's start by looking at statement charge. So if you are in the book, it says statement charge is the way of adding a line directly to the customer's register so that you affect their balances without sending them an invoice. So when we send an invoice to a customer, we affect their balance. But another way to do it is by using the statement charge. So how do you do it? You're going to go on statement charges, and then if you're in statement charges, you can see there that it gives a summary of that customer, and then you can choose which customer you should focus on. And then in our demonstration we have Martin Mala. So if we want to add a new one, we're just going to add an item here, and then we select that, and then it gives us a warning to say the item is taxable. So another thing for you to note is that when you're using the statement charge, no tax is applied. If you want to use tax, then you should go and create an invoice. So yeah, we're going to set it there, and then 500, so it is amounting to 1000, and then we're going to say record. As you can see, it has affected the ending balance of the customer from 233 to 1233. And this statement charge, if you want to verify if it has truly taken effect, it affects the accounts receivables balance. So if you go on chart of accounts, you're going to see there that the accounts receivables have been affected, and if you can track, you will see that it's the 1000 kwacha that we've received from Martin Malaya. So yeah, that's how the statement charge works. Okay, now let's talk about finance charges. So zikozopezeka kuti customer watu tinamuchaja ali ndi bill kwa ife, tinagwirizana kuti apereka pa nthawi yakuti koma sanapereke kufikira nthawi imeneji. So we can start charging ndalama ina kuonjezera kuti popeza wachedwesa siku limene tinagwirizana. So that is what finance charge is all about. Koma by default finance charge is not enabled. So first of all, you have to go on edit. And then preferences. Therefore you go per finance charges. So when you go per finance charges, under the company preferences, you're going to see that you have annual interest rate. So we can just set anything for now, maybe 20%. The minimum finance charge, the home currency, to say akadusisa mina ndrama yochepera mina kozopereka iyambire pazingati. So we may just put 50,000, and that's Malawi kwacha. And then the grace period, to say kuti tiyamba kuchaja drama after period ya itali bwanji. So maybe after 5 days akadusisa siku limene tinagwirizana timpasa extra 5 days, akazadusisa pamenepo ndekuti tisamcharge. And iyi ndekuti ndi income for us. Therefore we also need to have an account that should be tracking that income. So you might create an income account. You may just name it finance charges, and then but make sure that it is an income, and then you save there. And also there it says you should specify whether you are going to be calculating the charges from the due date or from the invoice or the bill date. So depending on your situation, you're going to choose that. And then finally you're going to say you're going to check this one on mark finance charges invoice to be printed. Go back to your home, you're going to see that finance charges has been added in this customers center. And then if you open the finance charges, it is going to be giving you a detail of all the transactions, of all the finance charges that you have for each customer. Now another concept that we should look at is on estimates. So remember, they said estimates is the same as quotation in Sage Pastel. My estimates people, we're going to choose our customer. For example, but I choose the customer that we have, Martin Malaya, and then I'm choosing an item there. So this is just a quotation. It's just like it's just an offer to him. So we have our estimate there, and this estimate can be converted to a purchase order. But to do that, you first have to go to preferences to enable purchase orders. Therefore you go by edit and then preferences, and under preferences you go on items and inventory, and then company preferences. Then you check on inventory and purchase orders are active, and then you click OK. So if you do that, we're going to have another option added here. We're going to have if you go back to your estimate, you're going to see that there's an option of create purchase order, and if you also go here, you have purchase orders. Therefore, we can go back to our estimate, and from that estimate we can create a purchase order. Then you click OK, and then you see that a purchase order has been created, and then that's the purchase order, and that's the amount. Then you save and close. So it asks us to put the email there, so you put the email and then OK. And then if we go back to the purchase orders, we can be able to find that purchase order. If we go back, you can see that we have the purchase order for Martin Malaya. So yeah, that's how we can do it. Another concept that we wish to demonstrate is on receiving a payment. So let us first come on charges, and then we have our customer there. So we're going to charge that customer for a certain item that he is going to purchase from us, and this is a direct one. Remember, we're not issuing an invoice here, so we set it there and we record. So it's for 1,200 kwacha, as you can see there. And then we're going to go on receive payments. We want to receive that payment, so we're going to select our customer, and if we open that customer, we're going to see a list of charges for that customer. For example, there is that 1,000 kwacha charge, and then there is that 1,200 kwacha that we just created. So we're going to check on that, and then we're going to say save and close. And then if you do that, you're going to see that on the record deposits we have 1 there. So it means that customer has paid us, but that amount is not yet in our bank account and deposited funds. So when a payment is received and it is not yet in your bank account, it goes in there and deposited funds. So here at the very top, you are going to choose the account where you want to deposit this payment that you've received, and then we're going to save and close. And then just to verify if it has truly come into our bank, you can go on check register, and then you're going to see that we have that transaction there for Martin Malaya, and it is a deposit of 1,200.